Horrible plane crash again, this one in Philadelphia. And unfortunately, it also crashed into a mall area. So there are a lot of civilians. It's been shocking. Of course, if one person dies, it's too many. Mm-hmm. But, boy, when you saw it, you thought, well, there's going to be – I mean, you really thought the death toll was going to really be something.
Yeah, you're right.
And so it was bad. No doubt it's bad, but it could have been a lot worse. Horrible background. I mean, this was a medvac. So we had a child that had just had an operation, right, that everybody felt like it went well, and they were taking them back home.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And,
I think she was from Mexico, and I think she was in there, her mom.
Yep.
And some staff and everything else, and it was weird because being down and on the road, I didn't really hear the breaking news, so it was like splinter of information. Like, did you hear this? Did you hear that? I'm like, what? And then you pull it up, and it's just horrific. And you're right. It's amazing that only one person was killed where it hit. Because the debris and the video dash cam footage of it coming down is really unbelievable. So sad.
It just comes straight down like it's insane.
Yeah.
Well, we've had some experts that have tried to explain this because I just got to tell you, this world of disinformation and misinformation and people just wanting clicks, just all of you, do not get your news from people's social media. Just don't. I mean, they had this. I mean, it's a horrible thing, and it looks like Speedy. You mentioned that one of the people that they interviewed that was an expert, that it was kind of rainy and visibility was not great, right?
Yeah.
That when they took off, they think some kind of cargo or something may have shifted and tilted the plane, and now, because of even the satellite sweeps, them only being 1,600 feet off the ground, that they think it may have been similar to what they think happened with Kennedy, was that the plane got headed in the wrong direction, the pilot got confused, and the reason why it looks like it's just a missile is that this pilot thinks that they're still taking off up at 500 miles an hour when they're really nosediving into the ground. That maybe visibly got confused. The plane shifted and started headed downward. He's trying to figure out with the instruments and this time about what direction he's going, because he's in, if you've ever been in a small plane and you get into foggy conditions or a cloud, you can't see anything.
Yeah, and the first report is that it was already on fire as it was coming down. But now they're looking into that, and they think it might just be the lights of the plane going through the fog and the clouds and the rain, because it was rainy, as you just mentioned, and so it wasn't on fire. But that's what it appeared to be. Right. But again, they're looking for that voice recorder, what everybody known as the black box, and that's really going to tell us. But at first, everybody was confused as to what happened. Now that they've had time to kind of really analyze some of the stuff in the footage, the experts are saying what you mentioned is there might have been a shift or something that got the wing and off balance, and then the nose started going down.
And he thinks he's trying to go up, and really he's nosediving into the ground. And so another,
that's where we need Super Tom.
Yeah. Another thing is when people were talking about once it hits the ground, I mean, there's all kinds of horrible things that happen from it.
Yeah.
But then when you just be careful of all the misinformation. I've actually already heard, I told you I followed that thing on social media that has the tower talking to the pilot.
Yeah.
Well, they already have this one out.
They have this?
Yeah, and you don't hear any drama. You just hear the tower clearing them for takeoff, tells them what runway, you're clear to go. He's giving the roger that. They're talking, no problem at all. Well, this happens so fast after takeoff, and you hear the tower calling back to them is all you hear. Hey, you up and gone? I'm that's not what they say.
Right.
They use they're calling the tail number. They're saying, and then because he's trying to hand him off, which they do. If you've ever heard the air traffic, you're leaving this smaller airport, but I'm about to hand you off to another airport because you got to go through their traffic. And he keeps saying, "Hey," to the other airport, "Are you coming? You got him?" you know, and then he keeps calling for him, keeps calling for him, gets no response. So, but you hear them say, "Yep, here we go," and then it happens so fast that.
And what I heard too didn't someone else jump in and go, "Hey, what's going on?" And they said, "Hey, we've lost contact."
Yeah,
well, all I heard not responding, and so we're closing. Yeah. We're closing the airport.
I heard them frantically trying to get him to respond, and they know they've got problems. Mm-hmm. So this man, have you seen this guy that escapes death as the debris? You know, it's people are sitting at a restaurant.
Oh yeah,
and debris just comes flying through. It knocks this guy's hat off.
Yeah,
and it almost hits him right square in the forehead. Watch the older man on the second booth.
Oh, good night.
Yeah, I mean. Did you see how fast that came in there?
Oh my gracious!
If that hits him in the forehead, it kills him like a bullet, don't you think?
It took his hat off his head.
Yeah, it was just a really small piece of debris.
Oh yeah,
it looked like almost like a golf ball or something. It came and knocked it off.
Yeah.
Someone's weighing in here. 22 years of Air Force here. All signs point to stall based upon what you already reported about a potential center of gravity shift.
Yeah.
I've seen large cargo planes have that same issue too. I forget what country it happened in, but it was one of these large like UPS airplanes, and with that shift of weight causing major problems, they stall out and crash.
Spatial disorientation. Yep. Your instruments are saying you're doing fine, but you're really not.
Right. Yeah.
Your instruments say you're doing fine.
Mm-hmm. The instruments are telling you you're flying, but the pilot is seeing and dealing with something else. And they think that's one reason why there's no response from the pilot, because they're trying to figure it out. And then for you, if you're only 1,600 feet up going that fast, they said you're on the ground before you know it.
Oh yeah, so fast.
Yeah. So sad. Did Fox News was quick, because we get back from games and stuff on the road, and we turn it on, and they're talking to people that are there, like people that were just in traffic.
Yeah.
And so they just started running to the scene to try to figure out what happened. Because one lady said there was such confusion that people were saying we're under attack, because it came down out of the sky like a rocket.
Right.
And everybody was trying to figure out what is happening here.
Right.
But some people that were in traffic, and we have some of that dash cam footage that Adler's been showing, they just started running over to the scene to try to find somebody, and it was just nothing. It was just everything was disintegrated.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, when you hit the ground going 500 miles an hour, and you know, and this is the thing you always worry about too, and you saw the results. You know, this thing's full of fuel because I mean they just took off.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's just a hole in the ground.
Yeah, 8 feet.
Yeah,
that's what the report's saying. It's just a hole
in the earth where this plane smashed into it. I don't see. There's no plane there. You know what I mean?
No, right. Right.
Yeah. And so that's the people on board were, you know, they were alive 1 minute and gone the next. There was no in between.
No.
And we saw some horrible footage of people who did catch on fire, you know, because of the explosion and stuff. And so there's definitely people who've been burned, and there were some that were killed. It was just it was a terrible, terrible thing. But all the conspiracy things started on it, and I was like, you know, why don't we wait till the experts kind of tell us what happened? But you know, immediately it was, there's no way, man, that this is just a crash. Now, sometimes, you know, there's a lot of scenarios, very sad scenarios, that would produce this exact scene.
Yeah, maintenance records for the aircraft says they came back impeccable, so nothing they see was wrong with the plane.
Right.
NTSB is now involved, so we'll see.
Yeah, so there's that, and then you know, we'll continue. We still have the investigation going on the other one.
We've got, that's what I was going to say. There's been so many air issues just within the last week. You had the Potomac, obvious, huge tragedy. Philadelphia, the one we just talked about. There was the one in Santa Barbara. And then in Alaska, we showed that jet falling out of the sky.
Right.
That's in the last week.
Yep.
What's going on?
We'll be back. More Rick Burgess Show right after this.
This is the Rick Burgess Show.